Hang in
Dude,
there. It is.
that's Smylie Kaufman for 61. Wow.
I'm Smylie Kaufman, and this is The Smylie Show.
All right, welcome back to The Smylie Show. This is an episode I am very excited about because we got Sahith Theegala joining us today. Sahith, I tell you what, you're so fun to watch. You've had an unbelievable start to your PGA Tour. Third season, I guess, at this point. It still feels like you're just a rookie, but you're getting older now as you get on, but you're playing some great golf. And where are you joining us this week?
Thanks, Smylie. Thanks for having me on. I am in my house / townhome apartment that I'm still renting in the Woodlands, Texas, just north of Houston. On an off week here. I think it's week of Byron. So off week, I got the full Scotty, just laziness beard going on. So that's how you know it's an off week. But yeah, it's been a fun, it's already been like halfway through the season, huh?
It's crazy how fast these seasons go. I was gone for 8 straight weekends, so I finally got some time to be at home as well. So I'm trying to enjoy myself as well. But walk us through what's an off week look like for you? Yeah,
so this off week is a little different because me and Will missed the cut last week, so I had a couple extra days to relax. Usually I'll go the first 3 days of an off week and just take it completely off. Monday's kind of my recovery / stretching day, so I'll go see my chiro, go get a massage, have a nice stretch session in the gym, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, usually don't play golf at all. Just get in the gym and lift some weights. It's my one time, pretty much once a month. It's those 2 days are the days where I can go heavy. So that's kind of what I've been doing the last, I guess, Saturday, Sunday, Monday now. I played golf today, but no practice still. So usually the first 3 days, that kind of schedule / rhythm that I'm into, and then I'll slowly get back into golf. Usually on Thursday is when I'll play around of golf, no practice, and then Friday, Saturday I'll start ramping up the practice again. And whatever day I'm traveling, Sunday or Monday, before the tournament, I'll take one more day off.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense, and getting your mind and body ready. But I'm curious, what's your go-to food or coffee spot in Houston where you and your girlfriend go out to, where are you sending me if I'm heading your way?
Yeah, it's interesting because I always enjoy eating out, and I'm pretty lazy when I'm home, so I don't cook or make anything. But my girlfriend is so on top of it. I mean, when I'm back home, she cooks 3 meals a day and makes coffee in the morning for me. So I'm really spoiled with her. But my favorite coffee shop in the Woodlands area is called Third Gen. There's something about, I didn't really drink coffee till a few years ago. My caddy on the Corn Ferry, good buddy of mine, Zach Sims, he got me hooked on coffee. And there's something cathartic about going to a coffee shop in the morning and, just seeing a bunch of people in the morning and the smell of coffee. And it's like it's just a part of your routine kind of thing. So Third Gen Coffee is my place to go. And then there's a little breakfast spot called Brooklyn Cafe. It's got a really, I'm a big breakfast burrito guy, but I know they're not good for me. So they have like a breakfast wrap. I mean, it's like a burrito, but it's not, I get it with no cheese, and I love chorizo, but I get it with no chorizo. So I just get bacon and I feel healthier, but I'm sure it's still not healthy. But that's kind of my spot for breakfast and coffee.
Don't we have to plug the spot in Hilton Head, Java Burrito? We got to plug that
Java
place.
Burrito.
You and I saw each other every single day last year. Did you go a bunch this year as well?
Dude, if there was a Java Burrito in Woodlands, Texas, I'd go there 4 or 5 times a week. It's like Chipotle on crack. It's so good. but like, I love breakfast. I absolutely love breakfast. And I got a breakfast burrito even for dinner at Java Burrito. I went there 5 out of 6 days, I think. 5 out of 7 days. Yeah. I went there almost every day. It's so good. That hot sauce. Did you get that hot sauce there?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I was explaining it to Charlie. It's like, okay, just think about this. It's like you can get a burrito in the morning. So it's open for breakfast. They have great coffee. So you have the whole breakfast experience. And then it's like, oh, wait, no, you can go there later and do a burrito you can do kind of a Mexican themed burrito, or you can kind of go with, kind of the fish or something a little different. So you don't have to eat the same thing every night. So I'm like, this is so sweet.
Oh yeah. It was, that place is dialed. I don't know how there's not more places like that, because I love Chipotle, but it gets old, and that place never gets old because, like you said, you can just switch it up so easily, and there's so many different variations.
Well, maybe you and I just need to get in the food real estate business, and we're just going to send Java Burrito around the country, or just bring it to Birmingham and Houston so we can have it.
That'd be great. My caddy Carl talked about the same thing. He's like, bro, if we open this up in San Mark, LA, we'd make a killing.
Yeah, there you go. But you're doing pretty good as it is on the PGA Tour, and we're going to get to all the successes you've had out there. Breaking down some of the things that you do so well. But before we get there, I think one of the most interesting things about you that makes you so unique is how good you are at the game of chess. And I think there's some really classic parallels between golf and chess, and just kind of doing my basic research on you, finding out that you're a 2000 rating chess player that's kind of insane, right? Like, how would you compare that handicap wise? If you were maybe Magnus Carlsen is like the best player from what I understand based on me watching TikToks. Like,
yes.
What would you compare like a Magnus Carlsen like in golf terms of like where he would stack in our golf handicap system?
Man, that's tough. I think the run that Magnus went on, I know Scotty's on just an absurd run right now, but the run that Magnus went on was for like 9, 10, 11 years, and he's still kind of the undisputed GOAT right now. He's so good that he got bored of playing the World Chess Championship, which he's won, I think, 6 or 7 times now, and he's won every time control. So anyway, he's the GOAT, and I think he's going to go down as the greatest chess player of all time. So it'd be tough to hand. It would be like comparing him to Tiger. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. But I mean, Scotty's the man. I love Scotty, but yeah, Magnus has him there in terms of chess handicap. I'd say Magnus is like a +10. I know Scotty in tournaments is probably close to that. Yeah. I have to guess like a +8 or 9. I mean, maybe he's a +10.
So where would your rating though, being like a 2000 rating for people that don't understand how that rating system works?
Yeah. So I think the best way I can explain it is I'm basically like a one-time club championship, but I won the club championship like 9 years ago, and that was when I boasted a +2. But I'm probably back to like a 0.6 handicap is what I'd say a 2000 rating is, because I hit 2000 rating. I got to like 2060, and I'm down to I'm back in the 1900s right now. So I'm someone who probably would proclaim as a scratch golfer, but then I'd show up to a money game and shoot 77 and get cleaned out. So that's probably the best comparison I have for my chess elo to golf handicap.
So Sahith, you're like the Mid-Am guy who had that one hot summer that made it to the U.S. Mid-Am, made it to match play, and had dreams of making it to the Masters, but you lost in the round of 64.
Exactly. I was one shot away from getting to the Masters, but yeah, I lost in the round of 64. That's a great parallel.
Okay. Oh gosh, and I was actually on the chess team in like 2nd and 3rd grade, so I'm fairly familiar with the game, and I want to hear your thoughts on just Paul Morphy and his free flowing attacks versus kind of the modern chess grandmasters with their computer analytics.
Dude, it's wild. I mean, I've watched a lot of I picked up chess during COVID, so I watched a lot of YouTube or chess content, and one of my favorite players was Mikhail Tal. I don't know, you'd have to be a chess nerd to know him, but he just loved sacrifices. All this fool did was sacrifice pieces, like bad sacrifices too, not good, not supported by the computer, not supported by other players, but he would just find a way to punk everybody and win, because they were just so flustered by his sacrifices and stuff. And I know Morphy was the same way. He liked to play just intuitive chess. And yeah, nowadays, I didn't tune in to they just had like the candidates tournament. Sorry, I'm geeking out about
No,
chess stuff.
please, you keep going, my man.
But they just had the tournament to decide who plays against the world champion, which is Ding Liren, and it was a young Indian grandmaster. I think he was only 17 that made it. But like watching the tournament, it was exciting. Like watching the short form YouTube content is exciting, but there's just so many draws these days because everyone memorizes all these openings, and the computer, refutes a bunch of openings and refutes a bunch of fun sacrifices and all that. So, I definitely like the older style of play, but I'm not good enough to even. I can sacrifice all I want. I can chuck anything. I can still have a chance to win because the guys I'm playing against aren't grandmaster levels. So some parallels to the ball debate and the driver stuff. So, but yeah, I can talk about chess for hours. I love it.
And I'm glad you can, because you definitely geeked out on me there. I was actually fed that question. I don't know if you could tell. Okay. Like, did I sell it pretty well? Like, did it act like I have chess books behind me and spend some free time? But one of my good buddies,
you sold it well.
I know. One of my good buddies, Andrew Versiglio, loves chess. You're probably one of his favorite players because your love for chess. And he was like, I texted him. I was like, hey man, can you give me like a really chess question that maybe Sahith would know that he might be able to go on? And so that was great. That worked out perfectly.
I should have caught up on that. I was like, this guy, chess club 3rd grade, knows Paul Morphy stuff. Like, no, that was good. That was good.
Oh gosh, man. And the two different styles of chess I'm familiar with is classic and bullet style.
Yes.
So is that what it's called? Bullet style chess? Is that kind of
bullet chess? Just a free for all. Yeah.
Can you explain the difference between the two for the people that don't play chess?
Yeah. So classical chess, which I think they're playing less and less of, is basically 2 hours plus added time. So it could be a 3-4 hour game with classical chess, but bullet chess is I think technically under 2 minutes. You get 2 minutes. Each side gets 2 minutes to play. So you're playing just straight on intuition. You're playing on a little bit of memorization at the start, but after that, like, it's just moving too fast for you to pay attention to perfect moves. So it's a little more fun and exciting to watch as a spectator, and a lot more stressful as a player to play.
Which one do you prefer?
Oh, I only play bullet. I never play long games. I play actually a lot of blitz games, so 3 to 5 minute games, which is a little slower than bullet. Because if I play bullet game, I'm just making a blunder every move pretty much. Yeah.
And what are your go-to openings for bullet chess, and how much of it is like muscle memory? Because if you get beat off the start, or if you think too much in that, I feel like you're set up to fail in that system, right?
Yeah. I'm kind of I'm a lazy chess player in some regards, where the bullet stuff, I play something called the London system. So the first 6 or 7 moves are almost the same, regardless of what the opponent plays. The opponent can play anything, and you can kind of just blitz out your moves however you want. But if I'm playing black, I have a couple sacrifice lines that I can play where, if they're just focused on moving it fast, you can catch them with a cheeky checkmate. But I play pretty like system, kind of safe chess, which is it's interesting because it's not how I play golf. So
that's why this is such a cool conversation, right? Because I think in chess, or golf is such a slow game, right? Like, you have so much time to think about between shots you can kind of think towards the future, but once you get into that one shot, we always say, one shot at a time, but it's not easy to do. And with bullet chess, it's like you have to rely on instinct so much, which is when I watch you play golf, I see you relying on instincts and just playing field golf.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I have really found a good blend of my instinctual intuitive golf and a little better mechanics and technical stuff the last couple of years. Just my trainer and my coach and even my caddy Carl have helped so much of, I'm always trying to find like a line. And for some reason, a lot of my life, I'm like, okay, I'm going to settle on this one line, right? But I've really realized the last year or so that there is no line. You can be working towards a certain line, so to speak, but I'm never going to be on that line. It's just kind of how I feel a certain week, or the certain week of of practice I had, I could be, having to rely more on intuition than my technical stuff. So it's fun that I can kind of bounce both ways. I think in some ways I'm lucky that growing up, my dad and Coach Rick kind of let me just play around on the driving range and mess around on the golf course. So, when I'm under the pressure, I have both the technical standpoint stuff to look at, but also the feel stuff. So it's going to be work in progress my whole life, because I know there's going to be times I want to hit shots where I shouldn't be hitting those shots, but I'll hit them anyway because I love golf and I like doing weird things on the golf course. But I'm getting better about being objective and more prudent with some of my shots too.
Yeah, and that all makes sense. And I think, whenever I've had like a really hot round and I finish the round, or if people ask me, when you're in the zone, what were you thinking about? And 99% of the time that question is asked to an athlete, they'll be like, I don't know. I was in this subconscious state of just being able to just be aware enough, but being able to kind of rely on just my natural instincts, what you just talked about. And one of the things that helped me, and I don't know if this was for you, was I was always big on mental imagery. Like I would try to find something in my mind that I've seen before of my really good shots. Is that something that you practice?
Oh, 100%. I think one of the big things is just seeing good shots that you've hit and putting them in the memory bank. Because it's so easy to go the other way, especially when you're struggling. It's easy to see the bad shot, but I think a lot of golfers don't realize what might be keeping them from hitting a good shot is actually scared of hitting a good shot. They're just seeing the trouble and trying to avoid the trouble, and it does work to some extent on some shots, but a lot of the times you got to see the good shot. You got to be able to visualize. You get there behind the ball and see the ball get close, not just see the ball not going in the water. And that was a big thing. That was honestly a big thing for me. Once I started hitting the ball better, I was like, dude, I don't need to, hit the anti-water ball here. Just hit it 20 yards right, second shot on a par 5 or whatever. I can actually hit this thing on the green, and it's a snowball effect, which is great. That's the great thing about golf. You hit one good shot, and kind of like basketball. You're having a bad shooting night. You get to the free throw line, just see one go through the net, and all of a sudden the floodgates are open.
Yeah, and I think we're always like when we're playing really well, when you're playing really well, you're playing less fear-based, and you have this picture in your head of these amazing shots that you've hit. And I wanted to ask you, are there certain shots that stand out for you over the last 3 years on the PGA Tour that when you are nervous, that you pull up that shot in your head and you're like, okay, this is like the prettiest shot I've ever hit? I have like still 4 shots that come to mind for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, nothing pops up into my head. There's 2 that popped up pretty quickly, but nothing like too crazy, and nothing that I do all the time. But one was actually last year, hole 3 at Bay Hill. My driver, it's been my Achilles heel my whole life, and I'm staying on hole 3, and the wind's like in off the left. I'm like, oh great, I'm gonna blow this 50 yards right into the right rough and just figure a way to make 4, right? But I just remember in the practice round, me and my coach Rick were working on hitting draws, which I don't do, but not necessarily to hit draws, but just to kind of, even out my path, because I always swing left with my driver. So just to even out my path a little bit. And for some reason that week, not for some reason, we were kind of working towards it. My body was getting stronger. I felt like technically my swing was getting better. It was the best I've ever hit a draw in my life on the range there. So I stepped up to hole 3 on Thursday, winning off the left. I aimed right side of the fairway and just hit this low pimp draw.
Oh, and wow.
It was a shot that I've been able to hit, but not with any sort of consistency, not knowing where the miss is going to be, not knowing where it's going to take off. Sometimes you'll hit a good shot, but it'll start left or right of your target line. And this one took off right where I was looking, and it was just a pipe draw. And me and Carl referenced that shot, I think, the rest of the year. Every time I needed to hit some sort of draw or some sort of just like shot that I really needed to sack up on, I kind of referenced that one. And then the second one, it's a funny one because I missed the cut, but it was also last year. It was hole 10, 11, 12, 13 at 3M Open. Downwind par 3. It's like 215 yards.
Yeah. Where's the pin?
The pin was middle, like all the way on the right, just over the bunker.
Yeah.
And it was like pumping downwind. And at first we get up there and I was just like, we were going through the motions. I'm like, oh yeah, just, 30 feet long left would be a great shot. And it is a great shot. But for some reason, I remember teeing the ball up and seeing a shot. And I'm like, this is kind of a perfect number to hit just the, high towering fade. And I got a little more aggressive with it, and it was one of the best 5 irons I've ever hit in my life. And it landed like a foot from the hole, and it stopped really fast. I only hit it 5 feet past the hole, and
downwind too. That's impressive.
Downwind.
That shot's not easy.
I just remember thinking, I don't think I've had I've always felt like I had that shot, but I've never actually hit it with a 5 iron going downwind. So to have that one in the bank is really good. There's one more I thought of just now. It was hole 4 at Augusta last year as well. All these were last year. It's funny, I can't even think of one from this year. But it was the same kind of thing, that right pin, downwind. I hit this towering 6 iron that landed just past the hole and stopped down below. So, but that one at 3M and the drive at Bay Hill, I genuinely still think about. Even this year, I'm like, okay, I can do it, man. Like, I can hit this shot.
Well, I know I personally right now, if I tried to hit a bullet low draw driver, I think I would come closer to missing the ball than I would from actually getting a right to left shot shape. It's just not in my color wheel right now. It's just that ain't happening.
I don't blame you, Smylie. I just seeing the ball work right to left is just still it's scary to me. It's just like, it looks like it's a miss. Like, I'm just, my whole life I've worked at left to right. I know you like to hit the cuts too. So
me too.
Yeah, it's a scary sight, but we're getting there.
Okay, this is actually kind of playing off this coming up with these great images and almost these videos that you play in your head over the ball on days that you're nervous or you don't feel like you have it. And I think back to Tiger Woods and why he was so good. On days that he didn't have it, he found a way to shoot 70 just about every single time. For you in the last 3 years, how have you been able to kind of grow and knowing it's like, okay, today I don't have it and I can't really see the shot. What's the game plan to be able to get this round under par?
Yeah, so my kind of take and how I look at it is probably different than a lot of other people. And again, I'm still working on the whole mindset of it, but I've been lucky enough to have a very good short game. And since I was a kid, my short game's always saved my butt. And it's truly a result of just hitting it all over the place as a kid. And I attribute to growing up on, SoCal public courses where there's not a lot of grass available. So I had a lot of hard pan, crabgrass, Kikuya Eli's, and, just hitting weird short game shots was kind of the norm for me. So luckily, I have a good mindset about short game. I'm like, all right, man, I can get it up and down from anywhere. Just try and leave yourself the best place you can get up and down from. But, I kind of piggyback off that mindset. Like, hey, I know I can get it up and down from pretty much anywhere as long as it's on the right side of the hole. Especially the harder the golf course gets, the more short-sided you are. I mean, you're toast. You're going to take bogey happily. A lot of the times you're short-sided out here on the firm fast courses. But so just going off that, when I'm playing a little bit poorer, I'm actually more aggressive off the tee. I try and push it as far down the fairways as I can. It's had mixed results, I'd say. But as I'm getting more comfortable off the tee, I think it's working out better because it just forces me to get creative, forces me to get creative. If I hit a bad tee shot, at least I feel like I got it far enough down there where I can get creative and I remember this Patrick Cantlay interview he did about why he was so good at par fives, and I've kind of piggybacked that into hard par fours too. It's like he doesn't even think about trying to have an eagle putt. He just said that he's trying to figure out the best way to make a 4. And a lot of the times, even if he has a good number or whatever it is from the fairway, he's erring on that fat side so often. So I kind of took that to heart on some of the hard par fours and that kind of thing too. So I'll get aggressive with my tee shots, and then I'll get pretty conservative with my second shots. And just kind of that weird mix has worked for me in kind of toning down the bat when I'm not playing well to get that score, closer to even par. It's crazy that Tiger and Scotty can shoot, these guys can shoot 2-3 under on a bad day. Like, I'm still happy to get it anywhere around par, but yeah, I think it's almost counterintuitive. A lot of guys would be like, all right, just try and get the ball in the fairway, hit whatever, hit a 3-iron off the tee or 3-wood off the tee and get it in play. But, and kind of a similar mindset when I do hit the good tee shot and, I have a chance to attack, I'll go, even if I'm not feeling great, I'll go ahead and try and get really aggressive to a specific point. And that point is probably going to be a little more aggressive than normal. And again, the reason for that is, I'd say when I'm playing well with my iron game, I'm a little bit on the conservative side, just because if I'm playing well, I know I'm going to hit the spot a lot of the times, and I know that's a great spot. But when I'm not fully clicking on all cylinders, I don't want to be aiming, let's say, for example, 8-iron, right pin, 175 yards. Normally, let's say no wind. I'll probably be aiming 4 paces left. I'm trying to hit 12 feet left of the hole, so it gives me, let's say the pin's 4 from the right, gives me 8 yards in margin. If I push it 7 yards, it's fine. When I'm not playing as well, funny enough, I kind of like to push it 3 or 2 yards left of the pin. And my thinking is, if I'm not feeling great, if my miss is a little bit of a double cross, I still have room on that left side to catch the fat part of the green. So it's an interesting way to look at it, I think. Maybe not the best for everybody, but I figure on those hard days when there's a shot that you can get a little aggressive on and get a shot back or two, I go ahead and go for it. And I'll get back to you on how that works by the end of the year again. But,
I like
kind of my thinking on all that.
I like the strategy, though. I mean, I think most of the modern age analytics says get the ball as close as to the hole as possible, and it gives you a better advantage to lower your scoring average. And the analytics say it, and I like the strategy. And my only question about the iron game would be, from a conservative standpoint, you're a guy that you say you like to hit fades for the most part all the time. When you see left pins for you, or a left to right wind with a left pin, are you trying to play a draw? Or are you consistently like playing a fade? Because when you play a fade with a left to right wind and a left green or left pin, it's moving away from the hole.
It's 100% moving away from the hole. And the easy answer, I guess, is it's situational. I'd say when the trouble is really bad left to a left pin, that's when I'll go ahead and hit my cut and just take it. I'll still aim, the same 4 paces or 5 paces right of it or whatever. And if I just hit it 40 feet, I'll live with it, kind of thing. That's the one. You kind of hit it on the head there. That's the one pin where it's like, if I hit close, then great, it's a bonus. If not, then don't worry about it, man. You'll get your chances.
Will you ever try to hit that draw in there?
Yes, I will.
With irons?
With irons. I think Carl will try and talk me out of it most of the time, probably. and he's usually right. And the funny thing, the weird reason I don't like hitting a draw to a left pin, specifically with the wind out of the left, just my mechanism for hitting a draw is a little bit flippy and
timing, more timing to it. Yeah,
more timing for sure. I don't have that cover draw. I don't even know how people hit a cover draw. What does that even mean to hit a cover draw? By the way, I don't get it. I don't get how it works from a physics standpoint. So my draws are just a good old fashioned a flip, and I've learned just from these the machines, the quad and TrackMan, that my spin and carry is a little inconsistent because I'm delivering the club with slightly different loft, slightly less loft than I'd like to. So the variance in my spin and carry numbers is a little off. So I'll stripe a draw and all of a sudden it's 35 feet past the hole. And I'm like, what's the point of even doing that? I've just laced the shot 35 feet where I can just hit my normal shot closer than that. So that's the specific reason I don't try and hit draws with a left to right wind to a left pin. But I have kind of been working back to being able to hit more consistent draws, at least with the short irons. Because I do get into trouble when I hit only fades, and not because of the fade reason exactly, but just my path just gets more and more left. And luckily I have my team to remind me that, hey, dude, like, work it the other way. You need to zero this out a little bit.
Yeah, and you just mentioned your team. I mean, I think a lot of problems that young players have when they get to the PGA Tour is they realize, like, oh, I've got to change so much. I got to change my caddy. I got to change my coach. I got to change physios. I got to, hire a statistician to be able to compete out here. I think one of the things that you've done a really good job of, from just an outsider looking in, is that your team has stayed the same.
Yeah. That's a tough one because I'm kind of on your side there. I'm like, sometimes I don't get why young guys who are so good and not just from a technical standpoint, but from a mental standpoint, they've won at every stage in their lives and they know how to play golf and they've gotten there to some regards on their own. It is a team effort and they've had their teams to help them get there, but just switching coaches and hiring statisticians, I totally get that, but I think it's so easy to get lost into the technical side of golf. I know analytics is so big, but it just seems like a lot. You're already dealing with a whole lot on the golf course. So I will say the one area where I think it's really important, and it's something that a lot of guys on tour that have played the tour for a long time said is really important, is just health. So having my trainer out more was huge, and I've been working with a PT now, so that part has grown for me. But yeah, my coach and my trainer's been with me for 7 years since college, and coach has been with me since I was 7, so 19 years now. Yeah, he's my childhood coach. He's still chugging along. He's 76. He walks 108 holes every week. He's in great shape, and it's awesome having them out. But man, you're so right. It's so easy to look down the range and I don't know, see someone working with
always changing. Yeah,
always changing. And what cracks me up is I'm not even trying to throw shade or anything, but it's like you got the guys with the quad, and then they have a TrackMan behind, and then they have like a full swing, and it's like, wait, what are we getting from having three of these machines behind you? And another thing that actually really bugs me is the amount of putting coaches on the putting green at any given time during the week. Like I'm trying to warm up like a 40-footer, and there's 55 people on this putting green because everybody's hired their own putting coach, and then the putting coach has like a statistician that looks behind them. And again, like a lot of guys that have worked with putting coaches, I mean, it's made a huge difference for them. And I think there's a lot of merit to a lot of this stuff as well. And I'm sure it's a calculated decision, but again, it's easy to get sucked in, and it's easy for me to say as a field player.
No, I mean,
but yeah, I just, that part, honestly, I'm like, I don't even have a hole to putt to because these coaches take up like 3 holes of the 10 holes on the putting green. I'm like, oh man. And then I don't even want to get the alignment stuff.
We need to have like a list in the locker room every week, and the players have to put their coaches on this list, and this is a Sahith approved coaches list on who is allowed from your team to be on either the putting green or the range, and it'll be your list. And it's not a PGA. If you don't have a PGA Tour credential, means nothing. We have the Sahith official coaching list.
Exactly. I should be the one making the decision. Clearly.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I get fired up because I'm just like, dude, this is annoying. Like, I'm just trying to get ready for my round, and every single hole has some sort of putting contraption to it, and 3 people standing on it, and then I can rant about this forever too. Is the metal spikes, like guys just sitting there, hitting a 4-foot putt drilling. They've just destroyed a part of their green. By the way, metal spikes should not be allowed, in my opinion. Like. It just seems crazy that you can stick metal into your shoes.
When I was playing on the tour, metal spikes are allowed and like they always have been, but you weren't allowed to tap down spike marks. So if you were a rookie in the at the time, the web.com category of tee times where you're teeing off last, you basically had no chance on that back nine on Friday trying to make the cut.
Just smoked. You can't fix any pitch marks. You're right. Like Friday afternoon, I spend 15 seconds of my whole putting routine just fixing metal spike marks because they make you can fix them, but it still makes a hole in the green, And it's funny because I don't blame anyone for using it because it's within the rules. And if it helps, then why would you ever slip, right? Like you wouldn't want to slip. But the fact that it's allowed is for Sawgrass, for example, greens were absolutely mint. I mean, perfect on Tuesday practicing. And then we tee off Thursday, and it was the greens were on the softer side for sure. Tee off Thursday, and again, come to the back nine, and the greens are absolutely torched. And the biggest part of it was the metal spikes just around the cup. The holes that these metal spikes were making. I was like, I can't believe this. But anyway, sorry.
Now we need another list of who wears metal spikes. And now you're on the Sahith hate list currently because you need to get some normal rubber spikes or just the spikeless shoes. And this is all great. You know why? Because you are one of the nicest dudes on the PGA Tour. I know this because I know you, and I love that you're just venting. So like anytime you finish a round or a tournament and you're just like, man, I got to get this off my chest. You come in and we'll just have like our own little. Just kind of like little wine. Well, maybe we get a little glass of wine and we just kind of we just gossip.
I need this. This is good, Smylie. I'm getting it all out. I do catch myself though because like I'm playing the PGA Tour. I just started. This is my third year. Like I should have nothing to complain about, and here I am finding things to complain about.
Well, I'm not going to let you off the hook with all the chess stuff. I still have one more tie-in in the game of golf and chess, and I think the only way you can kind of compare it is, in stroke play, you're playing yourself, you're playing the golf course, and you're playing everybody else, and you see where you stack up at the end. But match play is a totally different deal, right? Because you're going 1v1, you're playing just the other guy. You have an opportunity to make decisions based off what they do, or you can be the one to force the hand. And for somebody like you, who's obviously a player that's plenty good enough to be on these teams with President's Cup or the future Ryder Cups, where do you think your style kind of fits in? You kind of call yourself a lazy chess player, but you also reference that you're an aggressive golfer. Where do you think you kind of fit in as far as just your general match play?
Yeah, I love match play. And it's funny, the reason I love match play, at least for the junior AMs and AMs, is because I felt like I can hit a ball out of bounds or in the water and I'll be like, oh, it's just one hole instead of a double or triple or whatever it turns out to be. But no, I think match play is awesome because, like you said, it adds another level of strategy. It really is a chess game. You end up playing the golf course differently than what you normally would. I'd say probably half the time. I think it's safe to say a lot of the times, your opponent starts off well and is really pushing the pace. You know that you might need to get a little bit aggressive or you're just going to get run over. You can't just stick to your game plan of whatever that might be that day, or else, if someone's just playing better than you, you got to find a way to try and even it out. So, and the opposite too, if someone's, really not having their day and playing well, you play more conservative and hit less club off the tee, or, instead of having that 18-inch 2 feet pace by, you just try and get the ball just to look up. So it's a lot of fun. I love obviously I think as a competitor, some of the best match play matches you have are when you're having holes with birdies and, you have to make an eagle to win, or you feel like you have to hole out. And sure enough, somebody always holes out, whether it's you or the other guy, somebody always holes out in these close matches. So it's so much fun. And just thinking about the fact of playing on a team and playing for the USA and having team members to play for, I get chills just watching the Ryder Cup and even the President's Cup. So to be on one of those teams would be unbelievable. And hopefully I just don't put my partner in too many bad places in alternate shot day. That's all I have to say. Sorry, Will. I put Will in some bad places last week.
Man,
I literally drove it. I drove it inside a tree for the guy. It's not helping out his back at all.
yeah, you put him out this week, man.
Yeah, I did. I did. He was carrying me so hard, just even for 2 days. He's Will's the man, and I'm really happy to. Side note, I guess, I'm just happy to hear how well his rehab and how well his back's doing. I mean, he sounds so excited to continue this rehabbing process, and no, I mean, he's a beast, and the scary thing is, I think he's gotten better. Like his control off the tee, his control with his irons, his speed with his putter is incredible now. He has no putting issues at all.
It's impressive.
He's gotten like a new maybe mentality about it, but man, when you get that guy talking about the majors, he just lights up. He's built for those things, and he's if I could wager some funds, I wouldn't not wager against Will in the next few years to win a major. So he's the man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And maybe you two will be a future team, whether it's at the President's Cup or at the Ryder Cup. And as we're in a President's Cup year, kind of mention how much you want to be on a team, and it gives you chills. And for me, as somebody who called the Ryder Cup last year, I got chills.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. But for you, is it taking up much space in your mind, just making a team?
Yeah, it was one of my big goals this year, because last year, I think I just let it get to me a little too much. I put Ryder Cup so high up it was probably the biggest thing up on my goal list. And I really thought about it a lot right around this time last year. And I had for me, the results were fine, but I had a bad mental stretch for the next 3 months when I thought about that, literally right the week before Wells. Cause I think at that time I was inside the top 12 maybe on the points list or right on the outside. I think I was just on the outside, like 14th or something for the Ryder Cup points list. And I was like, dude, this could be a real thing. And then I just played my way out of the discussion at all. But, this year was it was important to me to try and make this President's Cup team, because even my rookie year, I felt like I was close-ish, but just didn't finish out the year great. And I don't want to leave it up to chance this year. I want to earn my way on the team and not have Captain Jim pick me. So it's definitely a little extra motivation. I think my mindset on that's gotten a little bit better. Just use it as motivation and not as extra pressure, and not as an expectation or anything. It's just kind of a reward and a cherry on top for a good year.
Yeah, and you've had a great year, and I think back to Bay Hill in a week in which you finished sixth, and you did the walk and talk with us on NBC on Saturday, and walking down the fairway, I was listening, and one of the things you said was that you've kind of developed this go-to shot off the tee. And I think that's so important to have different gears on the PGA Tour, to be able to have that ball that finds the fairway. And this year in 2024, you're up to 64% of your fairways hit. Last year, close to about 52, 53%. Can you kind of talk about what you found this year in that little go-to shot off the tee?
Yeah, it's funny because last year felt like the best I ever drove in my life. I'm normally like a high 40s batter for fairways. So as crazy as that seems, but again, I think a lot of that is just stuff that my coach and my trainer have been building on for years, and it's finally come to fruition kind of late last year. I'd say November, December last year. And it's just a result of being a little bit stronger and my body being able to handle a little bit more, but it's kind of this low bullet cut. And I have two ways to hit it, which is really interesting, which leaves a little bit of a feel factor into it. I have the super high tee low cut, the kind of the Tiger / Colin. I know Colin does it.
JT does too.
JT, yeah. Well, JT does everything. That guy's a sicko on the golf course. He might have legitimately, I'm not saying this just to say it, but he might have my favorite game on tour. Yeah, he's just a certified sicko. But yeah, the high tee low one, that's when I'm like, really feeling good and I can get a little extra out of it, and it looks a little cool. It looks a little cooler because it kind of rises.
Yeah.
Both of these are fades, by the way, but they're pretty tight. And then the one I've really been hitting well recently is the last month or so. I've been driving it well, but funny enough, the feels over the tee box haven't been incredible. So I have this super low tee, low fade that came in so clutch at Bay Hill, hit a lot of fairways when I needed to. Really nice at Augusta. I hit it a bunch off 7, 17, 5. I drove it.
Fairways
well
fairways
there.
you have to hit. Like they're narrow or the hole that goes right to left for you. So that makes sense.
Exactly. Like absolutely have to hit. I don't know why I didn't hit that shot more out there. I might next year now. The hole's like 14. And then at RBC at Harbor Town, I hit it every single shot. I just hit this bullet fade, and I don't know how, but my speed on the drive is the same as my normal drive. It comes off at like 77, 78 ball speed, and it might have to do something with loft, but it still goes pretty far, and it's a new feeling for me thinking that I'm teeing this ball up and I have a shot that I feel like I can hit the fairway almost every time. But
that's a great feeling.
It's an incredible feeling because I didn't have that feeling for the last 16 years of my life. So it's an incredible feeling. And in some ways it's weird to me. Now I'm in the fairway a lot more, and I've hit some really poor wedge shots this year, which is uncharacteristic, but every time I hit a poor wedge shot, I'm just like, man, Carl, I didn't know what to do. I'm just used to being in the right trees here or whatever it is. But it's a really cool shot, and basically all I do to hit the shot with the low tee is I'll kick it back in my stance a little bit. I'll set it up a little bit less off the heel. And the reason for that is I like to have like a toe bias to the shot. Just so it keeps the spin down a little bit. Because if I use my normal setup where the ball is off the heel,
you set up like your golf ball is on the heel, right?
Yeah, big time. My normal setup, it's pretty much straight off the hosel, through the bag. The longer the club gets, the more it's closer to straight off the hosel than out of the middle of the club face. But for that specific shot, it's closer to the middle of the club face. And again, it's just to try and get it just slightly on the toe so that cut stays really tight and a little less spin. And yeah, it's worked out great. And it's a shot I hit every single warm up now. I've actually reduced the number of tee shots I hit on the driving range. I'll only hit 6 to 7, whereas before I hit a lot more. And I don't know why, because it's a lot of swings of driver. So, but yeah, it's been really fun having that shot, and hopefully it just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, you talked about finding the fairways and randomly hit a poor approach shot. So I think this is a perfect time to segue into what we're going to be showing, which is a couple videos, one being from last year. So if you're listening right now on the podcast, head over to the YouTube at Smylie Show, and you could watch this swing. And this to me looks like in 2023. Is this at the Zurich Classic?
Yep, this is at the Zurich Classic 2023.
All right, walk us through what you were doing last year poorly that you didn't like.
Yeah, so funny enough, this was right after a good stretch of golf that I played, like the best stretch of golf that I'd ever played in my life. I just came 9th at the Masters, 5th at RBC. So a big thing I was trying to work on here was just distance control, and I didn't have my coach with me for a couple of weeks here. And the big thing that happens when Rick's not with me is my setup and takeaway, tend to falter, and this takeaway right here is not good. It's really far outside, and I always take it outside a little bit, but man, this goes straight outside. The club is way in front of my hands, and what that creates for me at the top of the swing is super, super open face, and that's just going to lead to inconsistencies for me in terms of distance control, in terms of direction. Because that's just how much more my forearms have to rotate through impact, and how much more of a flip and timing based it's going to be. And you know how it is on tour with some of those grainy, tight fairways with a 9-iron pitching wedge where, you're just trying to focus on the contact. You don't have to you don't want to have to worry about where I'm putting this ball in my stance. And
right
in this video too, I have the ball too far front in my stance too. I know can't see the face on, but it's really far in front for an 8-iron. I think it's almost off my front toe. So
wow. Okay. All right, show us 2024. Charlie's going to pull up a video right now in which the feels that you and Coach Rick are working on. Kind of walk us through what those are. I imagine moving a little back.
Yes. So this is the biggest thing I've been working on the last 8 months. Really, I haven't really worked on anything technical other than this with my short irons. Been working on my posture a little bit just to help the takeaway get a little more natural. So the big thing is ball position's way further back in my stance, and that's allowed me to get so much more consistent contact. And I'm actually hitting it a little bit further because I'm sure I'm delivering the club with a little less loft as well. But the spin rate's been more consistent. I've been able to control the flight better. With the ball position further back, it's hard to take it out really aggressively. So in this swing video, I'm taking it back, just a little outside, which I like. I don't want to get stuck inside. And the top of my backswing's a lot tighter. The club face is more. I'm always a little open, but it's closer to neutral, and it's almost a little bit shorter too because I know when to stop. I can almost feel the club face at the top a little bit better.
That looks good.
If any, yeah, it's been a really nice transformation, and it's shown on my stats and in the feels. I'm still working. It's still a work in progress. So I've did some really, really bad iron shots this year that are short irons that I normally feel like would never hit because I'm just so based off feel. But it's nice to get like a little bit of technical with my feel in there, and then the good ones are just so mu't better, and it's getting more and more consistent. So it's been cool to see the transformation in video too. It's fun because I'm not a big video guy, and
we know.
These are like 2 of 8 videos in my phone. My coach has all the videos, so
that's the way it should be, though, man. That's the way it should be. I love it. And
it's been a fun thing to work on. It's been a really fun thing to work on.
Yeah, be able to get away from it on and off the course, and this is actually one that was sent from Coach Rick. I think this was sent from Did he send this to you via a baked potato? Because it's a little on the grainy side. But can you just tell us what y'all were kind of working on?
Yeah, what was that? The Nokia G742 or whatever, the 1994 camera. So I mean, me and Rick work on just such basic fundamentals. This is just me, exaggerating the feel of not taking it outside. I have a bucket of balls there and an alignment stick, and
I see that. So you don't hit the bucket on the way back. Okay.
Yeah, it's funny because I swear when I was over this, doing this video and taking my backswing on that alignment stick, it felt like I was sucking it straight inside.
And no, it's not even close. Feel versus real.
It's like perfectly on plan, which was crazy to me. But yeah, I literally sat there he didn't let me hit a ball. He was like, I wanted to hit a ball so bad. And he's like, no, you're doing this for 5 minutes. You're going to get a good feel for this, and then you're going to hit balls.
Wow.
And then it's hard to see, but the alignment sticks has little black lines on it. And I was sticking to one specific black line to get the ball position.
Okay. Gotcha. Well. Yeah, we're not going to see that black line here.
No. Not on the baked potato 3000.
Yeah. All right, Charlie, take that away. We'll finish up this interview here with you. Say this has been a lot of fun, and I think a lot of times when I do research on players, I kind of there's always one thing that sticks out to me that I find that I just didn't realize, and I just had no idea how well you've played over the last 3 years, and just like crunching the numbers of like this year, like you've already had 5 top 10s this year, but looking back the other 2 years as well, in 75 starts, you've had 18 top 10s. That's 24% of the time you tee it up, you're top 10ing. And Charlie and I were kind of talking about this before the interview. The full swing in which you were kind of like dubbed the breakout star, but like also, the family aspect and kind of a little bit overlooked of how well you've played over the last 3 years. Have you been able to kind of like had people separate that you're not the Netflix guy and that you're like, hey, wait, I'm really good. I'm going to win majors. And that's who Sahith Theegala is.
Thanks, Smiley. You're the man. Making me feel good.
Oh, it's impressive, man.
It's such an interesting – you make a great point because good golf is so subjective out anywhere, especially out on tour. But it's so easy to look at these guys that are absolute world beaters and have been top 10 in the world forever and base good golf off of them. Whereas in reality, you're playing against 200 of the best players in the world at any point during the year. So in reality, like making a cut and finishing 40th, I tell a lot of my buddies, like, dude, I played really, like, for Augusta, for example, I played good. I just didn't play that good, and I finished 45th or whatever, and everyone's like, oh, man, I'm so sorry. Like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know, guys. Like, I played fine. So it's been – I feel like I've played the best golf of my life the last 3 years, and just seeing like even a 0.0001% progress on a week-to-week basis is kind of all I'm striving for. Just the feeling of getting better, and Billy Horschel put it well last week in that he's just addicted to the process, and truly in a weird way, even though I feel like I'm just a gamer, I'm kind of addicted to the process, and I just love that feeling of whatever it is, trying to get a little bit better by sticking to your own routine too. But yeah, I feel like I've really played well, and golf is such a brutal game because you're a loser 99% of the time you play, unless your name's not Scotty, Rory, those guys. Because you know, two of the best players in the game right now. Yeah, three of them. I'll throw Wyndham in there too, but like Rory or Xander and Pat. These guys are absolute world beaters. Top, 10, 5 in the world for the last, since I've graduated high school. So 7, 8, 9 years now. And they haven't won that much. They've probably won, 7, 8, 9 times a piece. I know Xander's got his gold medal. Wyndham's got the US Open. Pat's got the FedEx. But it's like, they don't win that often. They win once or twice a year. And I think that just shows how hard it is to actually win. And it's so easy to get caught up in the narrative of winning, and media loves to focus on the top guys, and he didn't win a major this year, another failure for Rory, and it's like, dude, this guy's playing unbelievable golf. So yes, I really have played really well, and it's nice to have, a super supportive girlfriend and family. My parents really make sure that, like, hey, dude, you're doing incredible. The golf stuff, they always say, like, the golf stuff impressive, but the life stuff is impressive too. It's just, I'm trying to figure out how to adult. I have a meeting tomorrow about my home insurance that I'm gonna have to sign up for, and all this stuff. So, but yeah, the golf's been really good. I'm lucky too in that I feel like I don't have to think about, what's a good event? Is it a top 25, a top 10, or whatever? I'm pretty good about being feel based and result based, I'd say. Houston is another great example. I finished 28th, but it's probably one of the best weeks I had all year. I really did most of my things really well. I just didn't have my normal putting week, and I got beat by 27 guys, and that's just, it's cutthroat, man. It's, how it is. It's hard. You can have a good week, and winning is so hard, and everyone just seems to base it off winning. And to be completely honest, I feel like I haven't really been in contention with a few holes to go on Sunday since the first event of the year. So I just want to be in that position more. But yeah, it's been a great 2.5 years, and even last year, I guess technically the FedEx season, the playoffs, and before I didn't play great, but I still had 8 top 10s and 30 events. So
it's silly. I didn't realize it. And that's, I think, to your point, it's like you have like gotten in the mix, but it is really hard. Everybody talks about getting in contention on the back nine and having a chance, but realistically, like, it comes around so little often unless you're Scotty Scheffler right now.
Yeah, it's hard, and that's why I give a lot of credit to these guys that have been out here for so long and have done it so well. And I know I mentioned Billy before, but he's had a nice long career, and he just won for the 8th time again. And even Brian Harmon has had such an incredible career, like so low key. He's probably had, I don't know the numbers, he's probably had 50 something top 10s.
Yeah. A lot.
Something crazy. And I bet, Xander and Pat are right there with probably 60 something top 10s and 160 events or whatever it is. So it's just so easy to compare yourself to those kind of guys. And, it's nice. I feel like I'm on my own path, and my goal is to eventually get to the point where I feel like I'm a top 10 player, top 5 player, whatever it might be. Just be the best version of what I think I can get out of myself. And, it's just, the whole thing's a lot of fun. And it's nice to get reminders from my parents and other people that you're damn lucky to be doing this. And I'm really damn lucky.
Yeah, you are. And you're well on your way. And in fact, I mean, the trajectory you're on is, you act like top 10 in the world and top 5 in the world is so far away. I mean, you're 12th in the world right now, pro. You're at one more good event and you're right there. Yeah. And Sahith, this has been an incredible conversation. I loved everything about it, and please come back on, because we have got to hear more about the gossip that's going around on the PGA Tour that we got to get off of your chest.
Yeah, no, this has been great, Smylie. Thank you. I'll have to come on again. It's feels like a nice outlet for me to just voice some things that normally aren't on my mind. But no, it's been great, my man.
Or do some chess. We can figure it all out. But are we going to see you at Wells Fargo next? Is that where we're heading?
Yes, I'll be at Wells Fargo. I would love to set up a tour caddy staff chess tournament one of these weeks. I might need to.
There you go.
Dig into that.
There you go.
Hit up some PGA Tour media, see if we can make that happen. But love to have you join that. Your Paul Morphy knowledge.
Yeah. I'm going to bring in my ace in the hole, my buddy AV. He's going to play for me and that, and I'll be his caddy behind him, just cheering him on, taking on Sahith. So we'll see how we stack up. But all right, man. Thank you. It's been a great conversation. Look forward to seeing you soon. We'll be at the PGA Championship. Charlie will be there as well. And best of luck to you.
Thanks, Smylie. You're the man. Thanks, Charlie. Enjoyed it. See you guys soon.
I listen to this podcast. It's really cool. And
all of our lovely fans and subscribers, but make sure you like and subscribe.
It's cool to see what you guys are doing. I know golf fans appreciate it, but we do too, so please keep it up.
For all the good people of YouTube, like and subscribe.
You guys have some good takes, so I'm happy to come on and shoot the